What's up guys, and welcome back to another video. It is recap time for England versus Australia. That took place last night at Twickenham. Obviously once again an electric atmosphere, electric crowd singing their hearts out as the anthems went on, and had a massive build up to what looked like could be an absolutely epic game between England and Australia. And it was, but unfortunately not for Australia. They haven't had the greatest of 2018s. It's not been a good year for them. Unfortunately, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order for them to really be competitive next year at the Rugby World Cup. It's going to be hard. They've lost to Wales, they've lost to Ireland, they've lost to South Africa on one occasion. It's just not been a great year, and a lot of work needs to be done. But before we get into the details there, let's talk about the controversy. Start off the video with the Farrell tackle that made its return in the match last night. Now, for me personally, I think it was absolutely atrocious that not even a penalty was awarded. Now, even though I'm a South African, I'm not a big fan of Jaco Peyper. He's not one of my favourite referees, and I thought he had an absolutely shocking game. Not only did he miss the shoulder charge, which I'll get into now, he missed the tip tackle that one of the Australians did on the English player. A few other mistakes he made. So for Jaco Peyper, it wasn't a good game for him. But back to the tackle, I thought it was shocking. Farrell clearly ran into the Aussie, shoulder charged the holy heck out of him. And obviously no try was scored. It should have been a penalty try, and definitely, in my opinion, a yellow card. Now, why I say a yellow card, he clearly went in for his shoulder. Now, last week against the Scots, when Willie Leroux just lifted up his hand trying to go for an intercept try, and it looked like a deliberate knockdown, Poit gave a yellow card. Now, when Owen Farrell ran into the Aussie, he pretty much went straight for him. It was, for me, worse than the tackle against Esterhuizen, which also should have been penalised. He was coming in at an angle, and he almost put in the biggest force in the world. Now, maybe this is a new rule that we are missing out on, but I guarantee if this had to happen to another team, we would see a card going. I'm pretty sure of it. If it was South Africa versus another team, I'm guaranteed one of our players will get a card. Same with other teams. I just think it was atrocious that this wasn't allowed, and it's getting ridiculous, because would it have changed the game? No. I still think Australia would have lost. But the fact that this man's got away with it not once, but twice. So he's probably going to do it again next year in the Six Nations, and then maybe he'll get away with it because people are bringing up it again and again, and it's talked about because it's trending and all that stuff. And it must be trended because it's not right, in my opinion. And I get so irritated that a referee does not follow in on the process of this. So for me, I'm ticked off. But would have it changed the game? No. Australia were not there. They had their moments of spark. Israel Folau had a pretty good game. Kenya had a moment where he got the intercept of a pass. But Australia just don't seem to be there and thereabout, which is, it's sad, because they've got a fantastic rugby team. They've got the potential to do great things, but they just don't seem to gel. So the question goes back to, is it Michael Cheika? Is he the problem? Because I just don't see how Australia are going to be ready for the Rugby World Cup if they just keep going down. I mean, this is another loss. I think it's the fifth or sixth loss in a row to England. They lost to Wales for the first time in 10 or so years. They lost to Argentina in Australia. They lost to South Africa in South Africa. Obviously, they did beat them and did beat Argentina. Got whitewashed by the All Blacks. They lost to Ireland, but yes, were the only team to beat Ireland, so credit to them there. So something needs to happen in order for change, because they're just not looking good. England, on the other hand, looked really good. The one try that was scored was absolutely amazing. The Aussies looked straight past, and they looked tired, they looked gone, their minds weren't in it, and I don't know if it was maybe the tackle that put their minds off, but that's also stupid, because you need to recover from a ref blunder, and you need to move on, forget about it, and concentrate on the game at hand, and rebuild and regroup. Now the talk of the for this game was it's Checker versus Eddie Jones. They've played together, they seem to know each other well. Eddie said it's an old mate and all that stuff, but Eddie Jones clearly won the battle. The team was good. England had their moments. They weren't sharp in the first half, but the second half they really came up and played a great game, beating Australia with some very good tries. Even though Mr. Farrell tackle was part of the game, but he also didn't have a bad game at all. Good strong player within him, clearly strong, especially with the shoulder. But he plays a great game, and he seems to be coming right. It wasn't the greatest November international for him, but he seems to be there. His leadership is there, and it's an important factor for England. So credit to him for there. Jonny May, my word, England's got a gem there. I think he's a fantastic player. Obviously, you got Marrow and all the other blokes. So England are looking good. They seem to be coming right. They seem to be developing. Obviously, the first one against South Africa was a good win for England. They deserved that win. Yes, there was that controversial tackle, but South Africa made mistakes and didn't capitalise. They had every opportunity to win, but they didn't, and England capitalised and won, and well done to England for that. They came so close to the All Blacks. They really did. They played such hard rugby, and credit to them for that. Japan was a tough challenge in the first half with the Japs leading, but then England came back, and it just seems to show that England's mentality within the second half, how they come back, is very impressive, and respect to England for that. I thought that was pretty impressive. The stats obviously talk different opinions within the game, because we all know that sometimes the stats don't relate to what the actual game was. But if we look at it, Jonny May's try in the 3rd minute, brilliant. Elliot Daly had a good game. Joe had a very good game. I'm not going to pronounce his surname because that is a long surname, but he had a very good game. And obviously Farrell in the 76th minute, getting over his conversions, getting over some of his penalties. 37-18 win for the Aussies, and Falau getting the try in 36th and 81st minute, and Matt kicking over the point. So well done to England for picking up a win. They were just too strong for the Aussies. The word is woeful Wallabies, which is sad, man. I hate seeing a team going down. I always want to see them come back, even if I don't support them. I know the potential and the quality that they have. I think Aussies were missing Pocock a lot, and all that jazz, but they have it. Obviously, Beale and Adam Ashley Cooper were disciplined, so they weren't allowed to play. So it was a big loss for them as well. But you got to regroup, you got to rethink things, you got to learn to adapt with the challenges. And I said that in the previous video with South Africa. You got to learn to adapt and capitalize on opportunities. If you miss your opportunities, you don't deserve to win. Plain and simple. Okay, attacking line, the possession 53% to England, 58 territory to England as well. So they were clearly favourites. Australia did come back in the and give a little bit of a fight, but in the second half, unfortunately, it just wasn't for them, and England just came away with it, and rightly so. They deserved it. 44th minute try, 56th minute try, 76th minute try. I mean, well done and well deserved to them on that one. Very well deserved. If we looked at defence, and this is where the Australians lost it a bit. Okay, England made 107 tackles, 91 of those successful, 85%. Not too bad. Then the Aussies, 125 tackles made, only 96 of those successful, meaning that 77% tackle ratio, which isn't that great. They need to work on that. They need to work on their discipline. They need to work on their fitness levels if they're wanting to be competitive. And why I say discipline? England 6 penalties get conceded, and Australia 10, which is too much. Obviously no cards, which should have actually happened, but anyway, we won't go. I'll have one last dig at that. So England pretty much not bad. The last 5 games have seemed to have come come out of it and playing good rugby. They've only lost one in the November internationals, which was against New Zealand, and that was an epic game, so I think they'll be proud of themselves for that. The Aussies only beating Italy, which is a tough one for them, and yeah, so a lot of work needs to be done for Australia. I hope they bounce back for their sake, but congratulations to England, well done, well deserved victory. Obviously, let me know your thoughts in the comments section about the Farrell tackle. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, whether you're from England or Australia. Don't get rude and all that stuff. I'm just sharing my thoughts on the English tackle. I thought it was appalling, and I think a few will agree, judging from what I saw on social media. A lot agree, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, Farrell gets away with it again, but tackle or no tackle, card or no card, Farrell that didn't change the game. Australia just weren't there in it. Yes, it could have maybe given them a spark that they needed. If Farrell was carded, Australia might have capitalised without him. Who knows, but we will never know. Yaku Paper, you need to catch a wake up, my boyki. You had a shocking game. But other than that, well done England. Very good November internationals for you, and I'm sure you'll be proud. Well done Eddie Jones, you seem to have redeemed yourself. But yeah, epic game. Few controversies, but what a way to end off the November internationals. So congratulations to England on that one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree or disagree? And make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Give it a like, and I'll see you real soon for another video. Stay tuned, so much more to come. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.